Okay, we're live. This is so weird. I wish that I could get this figured out, but anyway, I would like to be able to adjust the screen on my YouTube, which I used to. Oh, wait, there we go. Wait. That, hang on, folks. You know what? I'm going to leave it right there because I'm doing both of these simultaneously, and I'm trying to adjust the screen on the YouTube feed and this one here. Thanks, Seraphis. How you doing? And tonight's show, Raw Light, is about change. And basically, all I'm going to do is talk about what's going on in my world. And then I want to know what's going on in your world. So make sure that you let me know in the comments and down below and everything. And we're going to try to have as much fun as possible, but I'm sorry, I'm the only one here to entertain you. I don't have anybody tonight. Yeah, you guys back east in Pennsylvania is going to get snow. I've heard anywhere like 6 to 9 inches, but I think here in Pittsburgh we'll be lucky if we get 2 or 3, which is about what we got with the last storm last week. That's fine too. You know, so how's everybody doing? I'm glad to see you guys make it. Please make sure that you share the feed and let everybody know that we're on, and go from there. And 10 to 14 in Jersey of all places. How much? Ew, that sucks. Philly too. You know, so anyway, let's see. I'm not playing around on this for a minute. I want to be able to see your stuff though. So hi to Seraphis and Matthew and Leslie and everybody coming on up. I'm over here on Facebook Live at the same time. So just in case the YouTube people are wondering what's going on. All right, let me get right to it because I hate that when people start a video and they're not talking and I want to know what the information is. So like I said, we're going to be talking about change. My aunt passed away last week, and I don't want to go into her life story, but I will say that the kids, all her kids and her grandkids and great-grandkids live out of state, and it was nice to see all of them. We had a really good time of fellowship and coming back together. And you know, you think about your family and they aren't always your soul family. And what I discovered this weekend, Saturday, after the funeral, was that there's a couple of my cousins' kids that are very spiritual and a part of my soul family. And I was, man, to connect with those guys, you know, the people in their mid-20s that are just like so full of life and having this. And it was funny because Robin, Daniel's wife, looked at me and says, you know, it's really so nice to have an intellectual, spiritual conversation because a lot of people don't get it. And it was just a lot of fun. It really was, because I don't think any of us really felt bad because we knew what was going to happen eventually. And so it's okay. You know, it's a part of the change. And that's why I'm talking about change tonight. You know, when you think about change in itself, there's always those times of change, whether it's through death or, you know, if you're in a situation in your present moment that you're not liking, just know that it's going to change, and it can change for the better if you set your intention for it. You know, I don't believe the old adage that, you know, well, things are going to get worse before they get better. Well, because if you start thinking that, then it's probably going to happen. You know, but right now, with this full moon that we just had, that is one of the things about changes. I discussed it on the last show last week on Thursday with Seraphis about what those changes are and where to feed your focus and your intentions. But it is about releasing the old ways and And I want to talk about that because you can't have guilt over that. One of the things I went through today was I had guilt because, or didn't have guilt over what I would normally have guilt, and I'll tell you why. Because I woke up this morning literally with a list that I made up last night of, okay, this I have to get done. And, you know, I do my meditation every morning and such. And there was a card that I pulled from my spirit wheel. It was a Native American deck, and that came up. And normally, if I don't do something, I beat myself up about it, and I feel guilty. And it's like, well, shit, you know, I need to do this or I need to do that, and I didn't get it done, and all of that. And it's all about, you know, time is relative. I started thinking about that too. You know, what is time? You know, because I seen a post last week and it talked about time and about how, you know, if we force things to do or we will it to happen, or we put all of our energy towards making something happen, it's really the wrong route to take. That we just need to allow things to happen. Yes, we have to put in certain times of action, but if you make things happen, it's not going to be beneficial unless you just allow them to happen. And the card that I came up with, I'm going to show it to you guys, is the Illumination card. It's the Spirit Path of the East. And on the bottom of the card, it speaks about divine communication, spiritual knowing, and insight. Now, if you noticed that it's an eagle's head with a flying eagle. Eagles always are the closest to the Creator and to the sun. They're the ones that fly the highest. They're the ones that fly. When there's a storm, they fly above the storm and above the clouds. They don't have to worry about a whole lot of anything as far as, you know, time and being worried about things that happen or don't happen. And the post that I saw basically said, when you will just sit and allow, in other words, not always just, don't, you know, you can't expect the whole world to pass in front of you by sitting still and being lazy and lethargic and not doing anything. But what that means is rest within yourself and be guided. And that's what this illumination card was about the divine communication, spiritual knowing, and inner light that we have within us. And for me, after I read that, I said, you know what? I need to do some meditation. And I went into meditation, and I got so deep into it that my complete day had gone, just left. And I don't know where I went. I don't have any memory of it. I just have the memory of being at complete peace. Because I have a lot on my plate and what I have to get ready for. But you know what? It's okay. Because it's that inner knowing. It is that inner light. It is allowing, you know. Let's put it this way. Everybody likes to go on these like river trips, you know, where you just kind of like float down the river on air tubes or maybe in a canoe or something like that. I don't know anybody that wants to spend a nice, relaxing, lazy day on the river and turn around and just try to go against the current and paddle upstream all day while everybody else is having fun going downstream. That's the message I got from all of that today. It was like, you know what? Don't put the thought or worry and all that energy into something that we already have control of. In other words, Source, Creator, has all that already figured out. So I'll just do it tomorrow, you know, because this isn't our timeline. That's the way I'll talk about myself. This is not my timeline. This is Spirit's timeline. Everything is in divine timing. And I'm more than welcome to go along with that, because every time in my life I've tried to force something in, guess what? It didn't work. You know, it is a time of organization, you know, and rest and focus and releasing. We had that in February without the full moon, and so it came into the point where we just needed to use that time to turn inward and connect with ourselves. So once I did that, I figured, okay, it's time to get busy. Well, Spirit had this message for me to deliver to you guys tonight, that it isn't about all of that. It's about being who you truly are, knowing your inner self and being confident in that, not feeling guilty, releasing those emotions of what you think you should be doing, because isn't that the truth? You have this preconceived notion of everything that you're supposed to be doing. You have to get this work done. You have to be at work at such and such a time. You have to buy a house. You have to get married. You have to do this. You have to do that. Whatever it is for you in your personal life, in your journey, you have to question it. Is it really going to make me happy in the long term? What is it that I need to release? And that's what we're doing. That's what makes it so cool. Now, I'm going to share something with you that I thought was really, really neat. Because of this attitude, this is Tuesday, so the last 48 hours, I was asked last night, there's a group here in Pittsburgh that asked me to go to their website and put on there about what I do, my speaking and my journey and some of the modalities I do. And they want me to do a presentation. It's going to be about 2 hours. We don't have a date finalized yet, but I thought, wow, that's really cool. Before that, I know some of you have been asking for teachings and mentoring and things like that, and I am working on that, but then something else came in, so this is going to be even more on the plate for spiritual teaching and mentoring and everything else, but it's going to be, and I can mix this in with it, because this is all about the Native American side. An organization that I'm close with, but I haven't spoke with Dr. Ella in quite a while, except for this past Sunday, and she is the founder of Health by Choice Education and Research Center in New Enterprise, Pennsylvania, which is near Bedford. And my very, very good friend and mentor, Alan Strife, had been doing this program, but his plate is full. He'll be doing a program on Saturday, and they've asked me to do a presentation every third week of the month on Sundays, which I'm going to do my very best to record so that I can put up for you guys. Now, February 18th was the show, or the program they did in February. March 18th, I will be taking over in that respect. And yet, Alan will be there, and I'm sure he'll be more than happy to pop in, because he's got a lot of knowledge and wisdom as well. But this particular teaching in March is going to be ancestral teachings and what they mean. Then April is going to be understanding the natives' inherited pain. In other words, what they've gone through. In May, it'll be Native history we're never taught in school. I think that was going to be kick-ass. June, because it's all about planting and the harvest, and in between is going to be about the three sisters. If you don't know what the three sisters are, it was a pretty big staple, of the diet of the Native Americans. July 22nd is drumming. I'm thinking about doing drumming, of course, but also maybe even doing a drum making class for those that are interested. August and September are open, and then of course they have something scheduled possibly for October and November. So I'm going to be busy doing that, but like I said, I want to teach those things. Yes, John, it is about corn, beans, and squash. Yes, that is the three sisters. And what I think is neat, I hope to find the pictures I used to have of how they plant them together and they protect one another as they grow, and you get a full yield from that one conglomeration of plants. And they don't take any nourishment from one another, which is interesting too. But there's a lot there in these lessons that I'm hoping to be passing on And because Alan is so much into the nutrition of the dirt and everything else like that, I'm hopefully he's gonna either do a little bit of presentation with it or give me some information about it. He's been working on this for years. He is there's some pictures of some corn. Now, he's about 6 foot like I am. There's a picture of corn that is at least 10 feet tall, and it grew naturally because of the treatments that he did with the dirt. It's not Miracle Grow or anything else. This is completely natural. It works with the microbes and everything within the dirt. And there's also, I'm trying to remember exactly what it was. Oh, an onion. He showed me an onion that was the size of a softball. I kid you not. Oh, and a beet too. This was the same size. And just his garden blows me away. And he does some fantastic work there as well. And that's why he's going to be busy doing his presentations and everything on Saturday. If you're in the central Pennsylvania area, get a hold of me. I'll give you the address and dates and things when Alan and I are going to be there in a part of, the education and research departments at Health by Choice. If you're over near Lancaster, Dr. Ella also has a clinic over there. And so she is an MD and a PhD, but she actually comes from the Lancaster area originally. She is Amish, but she has taken all of her medical knowledge along with the holistic knowledge and wisdom that she has and brings out all that together for healing for people. So anyway, just let me know if you're interested in anything there. If you want to, you can check out her website, healthbychoice.org, and you can also find her page on Facebook. She's a super terrific, lovely lady, and she's kind of like my second mom. She is so loving and welcome to people, and she got more energy than I can even try to keep up with. She's pretty nice. Sometimes we think about change and what that's going to be, but we have negativity and worry attached to it about what that future projection might possibly be. Another thing that I'm going to be doing, that I'm going to be testing with different people and work up a script and everything, because that I do past life regression. I'll be in New Jersey in a couple of weeks and doing past life regression sessions in a group setting as well. But what came to me, and I mentioned it the other night when Sarah was on the show about, future progression. And that is going to be a program that can be done in groups or in individuals, because we're told through the law of attraction that we should visualize things. We should have, what do they call them? Like not a message board, but a vision board and things like that. And that's great. But what came to me in meditation last week was that it would be better to have the actual knowing that's instilled within your cellular memory, so much to the point that you already know that you're working towards it, and that there are no mistakes in your journey and your life path. So I'm kind of excited about doing that as well, along with some other projects I have under my belt. And I apologize to everybody that I told all of you that I would have the program ready for teachings and things like that. We're going to put it up on a page, and of course, you'll have to be invited to the page to participate and everything for the teachings. And it's going to be, like I said, matched up with what I'm going to be doing at Health by Choice for the Honoring Native American Heritage program that we got going on. So it's a number of things that we have in the works. It's just In all honesty, some of it is I'm just allowing it to fall into place. So I'm not going to give any dates anymore or projected dates of when this stuff's going to be ready. Just know that it's coming. Please pay attention to my post. And if you want to get in on it, you know, you're more than welcome to do so. I'm not. I probably will do some sponsored posts on Facebook and a couple of ads and things, but I'm not going to pound people with emails because I don't like it. You know, these long drawn out emails talking about why the program is so good. I will mention what the program is going to cover and the different topics and things like that week to week, but I don't, you know, I'm just going to offer it. If you want to get into that and you like it, that's fine. That's awesome. You're more than welcome to join. I'm going to keep the fees down as low as I possibly can. And in all honesty, the more people that join this and participate, you guys will get more and more benefits. And because of that, then I'll also be able to do a free session with you guys, whether it's coaching or like a psychic reading or something. And so that will be offered along with the program as well, and where you'll be able to take advantage of that once a month, and that will be included on the price of the teachings. We don't have to work hard and make things happen. That's, you know, what came to me through the meditation, I guess, today. It just doesn't have to happen that way. We just are willing to say, you know, we'll just kind of go with it and everything's fine. And when you have that confidence in knowing, just a knowing, I mean a true knowing, not how can I say this? Like, we all have this way of saying, yeah, I know that's going to happen. But then later on, you'll kind of question it, you know, if it doesn't show up fast enough. But then you'll say, you know what? It's all good. It's going to happen. It's sort of like if you let the cat out of the bag too fast and people say, well, you know what? You said you're going to buy a new car. Well, yeah. Well, where is it? How come you don't have that car yet? Well, the thing is, maybe the right car hasn't come along, or the deal hasn't come along, or something like you don't feel comfortable with buying a particular car because you don't want to be forced into something. And then all of a sudden, the right one for the right price shows up, and then you're like, all right, that's cool. This is what I'm going to do. This is the one I'm going to buy. Don't get influenced by what everybody else is trying to tell you and mess with your head, because that's where the doubts come in. But when you have that knowing, it won't affect you. It won't bother you at all. So I want to say hi to Lisa and Elenisa and Samantha. Sam says, huh, that's what you did. Okay, Sammy, what did I do? And people are waving and saying hello. And Tina Flores here. Kimberly Valentine. I want to say hi to everybody. And yeah, don't forget, not just me, but my other friends too. Don't forget, you can get 10 minutes free on bestpsychicsource.com. Okay? And let's see. Hi, Nina and Dora and Peggy. And wow, John Peacefire. Nice to see you, man. Glad you could make it. Stacy, hey, good deal. And my cousin Diane. A lot of people on. Cool. Oh, Lisa wants to know what's the topic. Change. And a lot of it is about what's going on in my world. And I'm just adding that stuff in because I didn't really have a topic. I didn't, as far as anything specific, I didn't have anybody lined up to come on with me tonight, but I just wanted to talk about, you know, how everything is happening in such a positive way of change. If you don't listen to all the negativity and shit on the news and You don't talk bad about some of you. Like I said, some of you guys are, you got another nor'easter coming in. It's a winter storm. Of course, they're acting like it's going to be the storm of '96, but all right. So you get a foot of snow. Shit, we used to get it all the time when I was a kid. In all honesty, So, excuse me. What do you guys see that's changing in your life? What's going on? Or what are you concerned about? Let's talk about it. So, with that being said, I'm also, whoops, I hit the wrong one. We got Ann on here. I had to turn it around. I'm trying to go back to my daughter's remarks here. Samantha says, you were being a bit impatient with what was going to come your way, and once you stop worrying about it so much, everything's falling into place.
My girl.
Samantha, I love you to death, but, I don't like it when you call Daddy out, honey, all right? No, she's right. That's a point proven, okay? And that is terrific, because I do have my friends and my family here to point that out and give me a swift kick in the ass and say, see, this is the lesson you're learning. And that's what I'm saying. This is the whole epitome of, floating down the river and allowing things to come instead of trying to turn around and paddle your way up and wasting a bunch of energy. So you're mad because it's true. I'm not mad, but yeah, it is true. It is true. I got to tell you, one night we were coming back, but just speaking about the word of about patience, I did an event back east. It might have been the Mom in Allentown, and we were traveling back, and it was getting late and everything, so we stopped and actually took a little nap for about 30 or 60 minutes or something like that, and we went in, got something to drink, and getting back on the road, and I'm like, man, I want to see this happen, and so on and so forth. And Samantha's in the back seat. She goes, well, Dad, you just, it's going to come. You just have to chill out. And I said, yeah, I know. That's what my guides are telling me too. And right now, I don't like either one of you. And they just started busting out laughing, So, but it's the truth. It's sometimes these lessons are so simple, but we have this junk in our head, this way of thinking. It's like I said earlier in the show, what do we need to release? What's the stuff that we're thinking about that we really don't need to think about anymore? What's holding us back? And, patience was a big thing for me for a long time. I wanted to make things happen. I wanted to see things happen. I wanted to get on here and get, 8,000 viewers and, get a big following and all this other stuff. And I thought, over the winter, it's like, what's going to happen like it's the way it's supposed to. You got people, here on YouTube, and they're just jumping on the bandwagon to something else, and that's why they have all their viewers. And they're basically talking about a lot of things that just don't add to the quality of life. So if they're making money off of YouTube, because they have, like 8,000 followers and subscribers or whatever, so be it. I don't even really care, because they're going to fall away. I'm here for the long term, so it's all good. It really is. I'm not going to worry about it. I know what I'm going to have to do. I'm not worried about fame and fortune and all that. I know everything's going to work out the way it should. So it's okay. But yes, my daughter is right. As long as I don't push this stuff to make it happen, that's when it happens. More people are wanting me to do speaking engagements, and now I'm going to be doing, I'm obligated by choice. It's not a negative obligation, but obligated to do something once a month for an organization that, in all honesty, was there when I started out. And I've met some fantastic people through there, and all of them are still my friends. So that's pretty cool, So let's go back. Services, I have stuff I'm trying to work on, and was feeling pressured internally to get to them today, despite some lethargy and back pain. But then the crows invited me outside, and when I walked out back, I have to expand this. The hawk that lives behind my house said to have patience with myself. All is aligning, so we are on the same wavelength. You know, Seraphis, thank you so much for doing that, because that's basically the message I got and what I'm trying to portray here, is that it's so true, you know, that just have patience with yourself, because everything is aligning. That's awesome. I love that. So Nina wants to know, why does so much happen at once, and how do you allow it to come in without burning out? I'm clearing out my mom's years of hoarding, working and going to school, and what can I do to not get overwhelmed? Any suggestions? Okay, so let me go to the top. Why does so much happen at once, and how do you allow it to come without burning out? Okay, Nina, I think the best piece of advice that I can get, oh, I love you too, Sammy. The best piece of advice that I can give you is to do what I did today and what Seraphis did. If you feel like you have all of this stuff that's in front of you and it's overwhelming, walk away from it. Take a break. You know, recharge. Do the very best that you can. Put your mind on something else. Go do something fun. Go see a movie. You know, go see Black Panther. You know, I heard it's really good. I haven't had a chance to go see it yet. Do something where you can relax and empty your mind, or go meditate, or go for a drive, or a walk in the park. Whatever it is you feel like you need to do. And when you start, you know, you're going to be refreshed, so that when you come back for it, it's probably going to feel a little bit better. And you literally say, all right, you know what? Today I'm going to work on this part. Tomorrow I'm going to work on that part. And something that just hit me was ask for help. And whenever, you know, someone can come over and give you a hand, you know, as a friend or family member, you know, just be grateful for it, and then take another break when it's done for that time, and, you know, go out and grab a quick bite to eat. Get away from what you were just working on. That's also, in other words, don't sit in the house looking at all the hoarding. That's what's going to make you feel overwhelmed. You got to literally take your mind off of it. So, you know, there's just a few suggestions. You know, just, you know, give it a shot. And if you need any more help with it, get a hold of me, and we'll talk about it some more. There's a lot of fear being projected out there, and I think that contributes to the anxiety of feeling need to get things done, but it will all happen in our time. Great talk, John. I'm loving it. Thank you, John. I appreciate that, my friend. Yeah, you know, again, it's about what we see on the outside of us, trying to tell us the way things should be, and everything that's being projected onto us by society and our friends and family. And we just need to say, you know what? I'm going to do this on my timetable. I'm going to take it easy and take it little by little. If there's a time frame, you know, a deadline that has to be met, then you know that you're going to have to concentrate more on that area, but don't allow that anxiety. Don't put those own projections onto yourself that's going to make you feel bad. You know, that's really not a good idea to do. You're welcome, Nina. That's all right. That's why we're here. Hey, Lisa. That's my buddy, Lisa. Buddy. Peggy Tripp says I need to work on asking for help. Same thing with my thing with patience, you know. Peggy, I worked on that for a long time. And people can look at me now, and I'm sure they're thinking, oh, well, he's lethargic and he's lazy and things. But no, I'm not good. It's sort of like when I make my jewelry or my dream catchers or my drums, I never do it unless I feel right. If I feel something is troubling me, I won't do it. I can get, well, Sunday I did 7 dream catchers. I didn't decorate them, but I did the loops and got the webbing and everything in because I just felt okay with it. I was like, okay, cool, this is what I'm gonna do. And I was doing other stuff and um, started going back through past seasons of Sons of Anarchy, so it's perfect to sit there and watch that and do dream catchers. So I was being productive at the same time. you know, it's okay. But if I weren't feeling right, especially with the drums, I don't do them. I can't bring myself to work on something that someone else is going to have. I don't want that energy on somebody. So, but yeah, if you have to ask for help, it's okay. Ask for help. No big deal. I see a great hat on the outside. Great hat. This one? Thank you, Lisa. Uh, Now, see, and this is cool because we were talking about stuff, and then everybody throws in. I love this, the way it goes into the show. Sarah says, Nina, I had to clear out my mom's sorting a few years back, and the only way I managed to get through that was self-care, getting massages every week, uh, stopping the cry. I can't get this to go all the way up. What happened? I needed to, and so I don't know what's wrong with this thing.
I'm letting my friends support me. It's hard.
Letting my friends support me and stuff. See, so yeah, and read that. Yeah, and you know, that's just it. There are connections to physical things that you're going to run across. Being a military brat, you know, when I was a kid, of course, I had my favorite toys and clothes and stuff like that, but the military would only allow you to have so much because they're paying the movers to move you from one base to another. And it's funny, my brother and I have this ongoing joke. It's like whenever you see my mother with a cup of coffee in one hand, cigarettes and ashtray in the other hand, heading for your bedroom, it's time for some clearing. And I'm going to tell you what, that woman, you know, she knew that it had to be done, but I have to give her credit. She did the same thing for herself. She didn't hang on to, stuff. She didn't put that emotional connection to material things. And we have a tendency to do that as well. So you have to question yourself, what am I keeping a hold of? Because if you keep a hold of something and you put value on it and you're not willing to give it away, then you're only hurting yourself. Because the only way that you can expect for things to come into your life is if you're willing to give up something that you love. I know that sounds crazy, but it's very true. You know, so it is what it is. We have to question, why do we have this attention and need for material things that we get so attached to that, if it left our life or got destroyed or something, that it would be devastating, in which that we feel like it was a death of a person. If it's a death of a pet, I get it. It's a living soul, and yes, there's memories tied to it, but the memories you retain in your heart, not through a material possession. Listen, you come into the world with nothing, and you leave with nothing. So, are there things that I have that's like my favorites? Yeah, but I've also had fire destroy. When I was a kid, I talked about that last week. Um, I don't remember. So now, and and one thing that we lost lately, within the last 5 or 10 years was all the pictures and everything that my grandmother had of, you know, our immediate family. It's kind of a bummer, you know. It'd be nice to have to show my kids and my grandkids, but you know, it's more about the legacy that you leave behind. How do you make people feel is more important than a bunch of pictures that they might see once but never see again of your past. So you want to create memories for the future, not give them something material. I'm not saying that it's not nice to have heirlooms, you know, like your grandmother, great grandmother's engagement ring or something like that. Don't take me wrong. I'm just saying that it's not the material things that really satisfy the soul, you know, and touch our hearts. It's the memory from those material things. So yeah, you have to ask yourself the question, why do you have an attachment to something material? If it's so strong that you are devastated if that material thing were to be destroyed or goes away, and like I said, you have to question why that is. Why is that attachment there? Because if you fill yourself up with love, your heart's full of love, then you're giving that away and sharing it. And you have this knowing and this confidence that these material things aren't quite so important. That only the relationship and the memories you leave with the person is, you know. So I want to say hi to Kimberly. She just came on for a few minutes, and Michelle and Shadow. Nice to see you, my friend. But yeah, what else? What other kind of changes are you guys seeing and dealing with? You know, and like Nina and Seraphis were just talking about. You know, they went through something that was kind of challenging. That was a big change for them, and is a big change for Nina while she's going through that now. You know, how can we help one another? Even if you know, going through that, and you take and say, you know what, I gotta do a video call. And just say, you know, I got a vent, and that's cool. Lisa says the material thing is because you can still feel that that's a piece of them. I do it. Yeah, I get it, Lisa. I'm totally getting that. I know that you have some stuff in your house from your grandmother, and like I said, that's very important. But because you have that possession of those material things, you can use those to fill your heart and keep that connection to make it deeper. That goes into your cellular memory, into what's lasting the most. And it's not to say to discard those material things. It's just to say they have meaning, but my life does not evolve around that thing. You know, that material thing. My life evolves around the memory of what that brings to me from, you know, or about that person. I don't have anything, unfortunately, that's tied to my grandfather, but I have every single memory. And every time that I look, or, you know, think of him, I just see him standing there with a smile on his face, and for whatever reason, he always used to have his hat cocked like this. But the reason was, I think, was because he only had one good eye. He had one eye shot out, and he had a glass eye in World War II. And I think it was when he was on the tractor going across the fields, he would have to tilt the hat over to one side in his good eye to keep the sun out of it so he could see. See, it's those kind of things that, you know, that make me happy, that I think about. I just think it's funny. You know. Oh, he was a character in himself. He was kind of a quiet guy, but he could come up with some good ones, no doubt. So we're going on 45 minutes in. So I'm going to wind this up here in a few minutes. So if you guys have anything you want to comment about, anything that we can help you with, or, you know, whatever, Go ahead and pop it up there real quick. Lisa says, that's exactly right. It's memories for me. I'm sorry you don't have those material things, but it's in your heart. Yeah, it is. And that's okay. That's what I'm saying. I think you guys are blessed that you do have the material things. All I'm saying is, like I said, don't get depressed or, bummed out because you don't, if something happens to them. Or if you're like Nina and Seraphis, when you're cleaning something out, the reason their mothers became hoarders was because they were attaching way too much emotional attachment to those things. And you can see how that hurts people. You know what I'm saying? That's what hurts them, because they're attaching and they become the hoarders, and that's unhealthy. And that's what I can't get through to some people, is because it's okay to have specific material things, but please don't attach that emotional neediness to it, because that can wind up hurting you in the long run. Or maybe it won't even hurt you. It's going to wind up hurting your family. Look at these two women who have to clean up the mess of their mothers because of the attachment they had to material things. That's my point. Native Americans, when they moved from place to place, from a summer camp to a winter camp, for example, they had their prized possessions. There were certain skins that they had. There was perhaps a flute that they made, or a peace pipe, or a shield, and their bows and arrows, things like that. They were the necessities. So, yeah, maybe that's the best way to say it. Keep a hold of the things that have the true meaning, that are necessities, but don't hold on to something that someone else would look at and say, I have no idea why you would hold on to a burnt candle. Because the people will do that. A candle that's half burnt. I'm not judging. I'm saying, maybe that's not so important. There's a fine line there. I don't want to try to piss anybody off. I'm just saying, don't keep the special things. Not a whole house full of stuff. Can you see my buddy, my dog? Is he okay? Oh, yeah, he is. Because what's funny is, I don't know how many dogs between you and Marjorie and the kids had, like, growing up and stuff. But it was funny. I seen her post earlier today, of Buddy, and what was so funny was, I seen him just like playing with a shitload of other dogs. And that's why I posted, I think it was last week, of about all, this is the view of when you get to heaven, and there's like this long line of dogs and everything. But it's so funny. I actually did see that. And they're waiting for us. I mean, you hear people say that, but I know that it's true. And I'm probably, because sometimes I like the animals more than people, that I'll probably play with the animals before I go on to meet the people when I transition over. That's terrible, isn't it? It's true, though. Oh, that was a nice message. Thank you, Moon Shadow. Oh, did it again. Yeah, you see my cat? Okay. Oh, okay. So, yeah, he's having a blast over that. Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Animals, and that's something else too that I want everybody to realize, is it's not just dogs and cats. It's horses. It's, probably every type of animal that you know of that exists in this third dimension world, this life that you're incarnated on, is on the other side. They're all souls. And yeah, they're there too. So it's really cool. You know, animals are a trip. I don't know if you saw this a few weeks ago. I had asked Anna to check my chakras out, and I was laying on the couch, and before she could do anything, Misty, my cat, came over, and you know how they like to knead bread or whatever you call that? That's what she was doing. And she worked on the lower three chakras, and that's exactly what were closed.
And they were open when she was
And they were open when she was done. Go figure, right? Listen, we can learn a lot from the animal kingdom. And even though I swear Misty through this winter has probably gained more weight this winter than she ever has, and she has gone from a poofy kitty to a chubby kitty. Because she used to get like, you know, gain a little bit of weight, and you know, you can tell and I always used to say she's poofy. But now, oh my God, yeah, she's not fat, she's not obese or anything like that, but you can tell she got lazy this winter. She's getting older. She's not out running around as much as she normally does, but it's pretty funny. Oh, so you know what? Yeah, we got almost an hour in. I want to thank everybody for listening and sharing. Make sure that you share the post. Make sure that you check us out, Serapis and Pam and Debbie Zambito and everybody on Best Psychic Source. You get your first 10 minutes for free. And, you know, I mean, we can give you a pretty detailed reading within 15 minutes. You have concerns about relationships or past loved ones. Or, you know, like Nina said, what's the best thing I can do when I'm feeling anxiety about cleaning up my mom's hoarding mess? You know, things like that. Whatever it may be, we're there for you. So, and make sure that if you're not subscribed to the YouTube channel, go and check it out, because all my recent, you know, past over the last year or so videos are there. You want to check out John Ravenwolf, Psychic Holistic Healer, on Facebook. That's where I put a large majority of the spiritual teachings on there. And of course, John Ravenwolf Bailey on that page as well. So, bestpsychicsource.com, those two pages on Facebook and YouTube. John Ravenwolf, the website will be up by the end of the month. We got a really good start on it. Just got to go through some more stuff and add and all that. And of course, the programs that I'm talking about, we got a lot going on that's coming this summer, folks. And I am going to be going to a lot of places. Like I said, the next one, well, March 18th for this month, real quick. March 18th will be the Honoring Native American Heritage presentation at Health by Choice in New Enterprise, Pennsylvania. On March 18th. The following weekend I think it's the 24th, it will be the Past Life Regressions in New Jersey. We have 2 spaces left there, so if you're interested in that, contact Marjorie or myself. Then we also have an expo that Ann is doing here in Pittsburgh on the 31st. So that's my month as far as appearances and what we'll be doing. Because we'll be doing the psychic readings and the healings and whatever it is that you might need during those times. Real quick, Peggy Tripp says, my horse Chico was my friend. I didn't have any friends growing up. She had ADD and looking forward to seeing him again. That's awesome. You know, I love horses. I had one when I was a kid. Actually, it was a pony. And the only problem was whenever it seen the oats in the field and we were riding back over the hill towards the barn, she either normally, well, I got bucked off a couple times and she went right for the the oats. One time they were green. You can't let horses eat green oats. So, yeah, I landed on my butt. That's probably what's wrong with me now. I probably landed on my head a couple times, didn't know it. Oh, my dear. All right, yeah, and just put it up. March 31st, Lightweight Psychic Energy Fair. There's the website address. So if you guys are in Western, Central, or Western Pennsylvania, Ohio, West Virginia, please tell your friends about that. Share that as well. Go and check out the page. Make sure that you share this stuff on your pages. Let people know that we're out here. And we're going to be doing these classes and these appearances and presentations and everything. And about the website and, you know, the book that's coming out this summer. And so there's a lot of stuff going on. But it's all about divine timing. And that's all about change for divine timing. And that's, like I said, today, I'm not worried. I'm just going with the flow. I'm just going to, my whole attitude is, I think it's in the middle of summer and a 90-degree day, take a big old inner tube for myself, another inner tube that has food and beer in it, and I'm just going to jump on the river, and I'm going to float, and just allow everything to happen, and I'm just going to keep showing up doing the work that I'm supposed to be doing. That's what's going to make it fun. That's what's going to make it enjoyable. That's what's going to make it so fantastic to allow all of this stuff to come into our lives by just allowing it to come and be. Stop listening to everybody else about what they're going to tell you about. Hey, how come it hasn't shown up yet? Or how come you haven't done this yet? I'm in no hurry. Just, you know, I'll let you know when it happens. You know, it's okay. And along the way, that's when you know who your friends really are, because they're going to be supporting you and loving you and accepting you for who you really are. All right. So with that, as I always say, dare to dream. Dare to dream. Thank you so much for watching. I love all of you guys. We'll see you again on Thursday night. Don't forget, share and like all my pages and everything. And if you want to, you can always go back and watch this from the beginning. Thanks so much, everybody. Love you. Have a great Wednesday tomorrow, great night tonight, and we'll see you on another episode of Raw Light on Thursday, 7:30 Eastern Standard Time. Thanks. Bye-bye.
I don't know what you did with the lighting or the camera, but it looked really good, the coloring and stuff.
Because I used a different phone. I usually use this phone for that.